Run it. Run it.
It's what's weird about like growing up next to the airport with all the planes like flying overhead constantly. Everybody talks like this. My mother, she talks like this on the phone. In the house, she's talking to her girlfriend. She lives down the street. She's like, Renee, the kids are coming over Sunday. You should bring the kids. I'm like, Ma, open the window. Everybody on the fucking block is coming over. Everybody's coming over Sunday. I love my mom, though, I do, but she worries me. She's getting old. Like, she doesn't go to the doctor, right? She doesn't go to the doctor. She doesn't drink water. She doesn't hydrate. She doesn't drink water. I'm like, Ma, you gotta drink water. You gotta hydrate. She's like, Kenny, why do I have to drink water when I put 7 ice cubes in every glass of wine? I'm no doctor, Ma. I just keep doing you. You know what I mean? Keep doing you.
What's up? Tommy O.D., brand new podcast, Who Did It and Ran. Trying to do a little something different and incorporating some sketch comedy, blah, 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 blah. In all my years of being on podcasts, the only times I ever got real responses from strangers online watching it was when I would tell horrific war stories from my past street life. That's what Who Did It and Ran is. Tonight, sitting with me, East Boston Street Beast. Got his life together and relocated to Brockton. Kenny Capozzi. Gutter Boy, Boston comic. How you been, buddy?
Good. I'd like to see you doing this. You're doing your little ISIS video. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes, yeah,
You're
yeah.
do some beheadings soon.
He won't let me yell whatever, you know.
I don't know why. I mean, you know.
Yeah. No,
Storming the Capitol, baby.
it feels weird. I'm wearing a fucking I almost wore a black hood. That would have been even worse, you know, like I'm making demands.
I just feel like this could be like a video where, like, with you with this backdrop, just leading, you know,
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of people to storm the Capitol.
I posted some of my hip hop music from 2009, and some strange older woman wrote to me. She said, "You say the most horrific shit." I was like, "Lady, I was living in an ATM booth on the methadone clinic."
In your rap songs, though, you was singing this shit? Or she meant,
Oh,
like, she
yeah,
heard a fucking...
In some of them, so I have some horrific. I posted it and then I listened to it. I was like, my point of posting it is get out in front of it, because that isn't me today. One of the lines was, "I'll never smack a lady, but I'll crash your fucking whore." Whip out my Magnum and attack him with the T4. Like,
On
that's
the
just
T-floor? Like the orange line?
tag him with the T4, the Type 4.
Oh, I got you.
Then on the song Road, which was a direct attack to an entire family that was trying to have me murdered, my ex-girlfriend.
The whole thing is like the Hatfields and McCoys.
Oh, yeah. So, my ex, there was a time when I
It's
could
the
have
Romeo and Juliet shit, kid.
Yeah, listen, so I could have been fucking mayor of Winthrop. And I didn't even, Winthrop. Winthrop
The
held
island?
the most rabid pocket of Type 4 fans. These kids, and Winthrop is off the chain.
You know that's the
drug
jet fuel
addict
too,
white
right?
kids. Yeah, drug addict white kids. They loved
It's
it.
the jet fuel.
This group of kids
Shout out to Logan.
sought me out. What's the kid's name? Not sure.
There you go. Just fucking drop him like a co-defendant.
No. So anyway, this kid went to school with some kid, and he was in college, and he's like, "Oh, I'm from South Medford." He's like, "Do you know Tommy Williams?" It's my real name. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I know him real well." He's like, "How do I find him?" He goes, sometimes he drinks at the bar up on Broadway in Somerville." So these kids started going to the fucking bar.
Looking for you?
Looking for
To
him.
kill you?
No, just they wanted to be my friend.
Oh, they wanted your autograph.
Yeah, they loved my music. Like, and then eventually they found me online in like 03 by Googling the words Shoe Funk and Spam, which is one of our songs. And he found it. And he wrote to me, emailed me. I wrote him back. He's like, "Oh my God, how do I get some CDs?" I was like, "Here's my address. Bring me a little bag of weed." He's like, "Can we hang out?" And I'm telling this story because the dichotomy of what it went from. When I went out into the parking lot and I got in the back seat of this car, these two kids I'd never met looked at each other, and one of them looked back and goes, "Say something." And I said something, and they went, "It's him."
Well, you do have a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
You know, when you listen to that old Type 4 shit, or even the new shit
Yeah,
you put
I
out, it
sound
does have
young.
like a very like Beastie Boyish vibe.
No, not at all.
It does. It's got that old school, like that like even like what's it, Van? Like
I'm
Van's,
more melodic.
like Van shit.
Yeah, he has a
It's very
but
similar.
I have a Peter Pan voice. That's why, like, you listen to my stuff, it sounds like a young kid doing old school stuff.
It just sounds like a young kid, and that's what I mean by Beastie Boy like shit. It just sounds like old school hip hop.
Yeah,
it's not
it
like
is,
mumble
it is.
rap or
No,
anything like that.
no,
It's like it's
no.
going back to fucking Brass Monkey type
Like
shit.
I grew up on hip hop from like '84 to '93, and then in '93,
Wu-Tang hit, baby.
in Mobb Deep, and it
Yeah.
became dark, and it wasn't fun anymore.
I mean, NWA was pretty
I'm like,
dark.
yeah, but it was, you could dance to it.
It was, it had a, yeah. it
Every
had a-
Type 4 song I make, I want the fucking girls to, like when we would play shows back in the day, I remember we'd play sometimes, someone booked us on Revere Beach.
Why else would you want to be a rapper?
Exactly, so listen, we played this show at like Sammy's Patio. on
I love
Revere
Sammy.
Beach.
Shout out to Sammy.
And the kid, the DJ who ran it, he goes, yo, y'all going last. And I'm like, why?
Because you're white.
Because you're the only good ones. And Billy,
Yeah, they wanted people to stay.
and we were like, oh, they're going to kill us. So the whole night, the kids that were rapping were just hacks. Like rapping to a CD with the vote. Yo, next track. It was horrible. So there was a pack of black girls in like bunny fur coats.
Tell me you did a fucking backspin.
I didn't do a backspin.
No, not like Laugh Boston.
But I had the, my hair slicked back like Pat Riley with the Adidas suit and the matching gazelles. And all the black girls in bunny fur coats had their back turned to the stage.
Oh, you
the
gotta
whole
turn
night.
around?
Dude, they turned around and they came and they
Hey.
fucking danced. Because it's like, fun hip
Oh,
hop.
yeah,
shit.
no, it's upbeat. It's-
We got
yeah,
off
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
We had to get out of there quickly.
Why? Because they're gonna rape you?
No, because the other dudes were gonna murder us.
Because you got the girls to turn around?
Yes, because
Shit,
we got the party rock. That's the thing. Type 4 is like old timey b-boy party rockin' fun hip hop.
Yes.
Like put on any new Type 4, you can fucking dance to it. We did the Middle East like a year and a half ago upstairs, and it was fucking the same thing. People weren't really bopping around, and then like just they come, like smiling, girls laughing at the punchline. So anyway, these kids are like, oh my god, this is like a 13-year-old meeting Britney Spears. Fast forward 18 months or
I
so.
like how you equated yourself to Britney Spears.
Yeah, listen. So, fast forward
That's
a
the
year
whole
and a
time.
half, I've turned his sister into an IV heroin addict. I didn't mean to, because I came off the methadone clinic
You
when
didn't,
I
you
met.
didn't mean to turn her into
No.
an IV heroin addict?
So listen, these Winthrop kids were into snorting OCs.
Yeah. Well, one
And-
thing leads to another.
And I had just detoxed off a methadone clinic, trying to be clean, and I meet these kids that love me. I end up hooking up with the kid's twin sister. He tried to hook me up with.
Wait, so did you really want to fuck him, but it was like his twin
No,
was
his
pretty
sister's
good?
a dime piece.
But did she look just
Dime.
like him? With
No,
a wig?
not at all.
But how are they twins? They were just fraternal?
He did fraternal twin. So I was trying to be clean, and I'm hanging with them at these house parties, and I just get surrounded by strange kids that would rap my music to me. And then one night someone was like, "Do you want an 80?" I was like, "What's an 80?" OC 80. And then the girl was like, "I'll get you one." I was like, "How much is it?" They were like, "It's like $80." I was like, she's like, "You can owe it to me." I'm like, "I'm gonna beat you. I'm not paying you that." But she had been doing them a little, and they crushed it up on the kitchen table. And I took the card and laid out one line, took a bill, and ripped the whole thing.
The whole 81's
And they were like, whoa, they were blown away. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like this.
Yeah.
Fast forward a year, that poor girl, we went down the hole
You
together.
were already on the clinic?
I came off the clinic.
So but you had already been strung out on opiates
Strung
before,
out an IV.
before Oxy.
Before Ox. Oxys came after heroin in the methadone clinic.
No, yeah. See, I did.
Because it
I
was
did heroin
classy.
before I did Oxys too.
Right.
But I was never strung out on it.
I missed
It was
Oxys.
like a Friday night thing.
It's too expensive. But I had this beautiful little rich girl from Winthrop with plastic. We cash advanced $80,000.
In a year?
Less than a year.
Jesus.
Every night. And we buy OCs
Who was
off
her parents? Don't tell them.
a rich, real guy. Guinea,
Very waspy, Dave. Probably
no,
very
no.
waspy.
a Genzo, a Guinea dude from East Boston,
he's
where
a-
you're from, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he made millions in real estate.
Real estate, huh?
House up on a fucking rock, looking at the ocean on the edge of the
Wait,
sea.
Nahant or fucking...
Winthrop.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Yeah, Winthrop is nice. Really nice.
And that's one of my biggest regrets in life, because I was 28 and the girl was 20.
Yeah.
And their father
So, like, when she was...
barely legal, I was
when she was
pushing
like 12,
30.
you were like drinking?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So,
That's how I like 'em.
and the father was like an old-timey Guinea, and he frightened me because I've seen him freak out
Did
on
he
his
speak
son.
broken English?
No, but he's like an old,
Yeah, he's like my father. Like,
born in like the 40s, early, like my dad. He's getting old now, so
fucking a motherfuckers with
there was
Garrison
like,
belts.
and they were big Guineas on like, when those two turned 21, they had a huge party, And they brought me
The
and
twins?
the twins, and they would just spoil these kids.
Not the good kind, though.
Not the good kind.
You don't want them, like, hey, bring your sibling. And you're like, oh, not that one.
So I'm there, and
Really like
the father and the uncles and all these old guineas are just staring at me, and then the father goes, "You, come with me." And all the old guineas went outside into the garage. And I'm like, I'm gonna get murdered. And I went out there, and they smoked weed with me. And they were old timers, so they had to do it on, you know what I mean? They were classy.
Like,
And the old guy was like, "You're older, I trust you, you seem like a bright kid, you've been through the ringer." And I didn't have that, well, your fucking twins are getting me hooked on OxyContin. And then eventually,
Yeah, it was totally their fault.
it was our fault. So when
outta
we
here.
sunk real low and there was no more plastic to cash advance,
Right.
I started doing dope behind her back. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sick." And I'm like, "Oh, me too. I got a shit." And I go in the bathroom and do dope.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
like
then
Panic and Needle Bomb.
one day she just walked in the bathroom and caught me. She's like, "What the fuck is that? Is that heroin? Give it to me, give it to me."
No, I'm diabetic.
And it was like, I think of it like this. I was like a big league scout. And I feel, that's one of my biggest regrets in life. Give me your arm
Yeah, that's brutal.
to a girl.
I never like getting high with
I'm
chicks,
proud
'cause
to, I
it's
won't
so
name
hard.
her, but I will say
Hit a vein.
she is clean as a whistle.
Good for her.
She has a daughter, the same age as my daughter,
Survivor.
Ava. Yeah. And she got through it. And I keep telling her, I'm like, I want to just go to your father's door before he croaks.
Why?
To
The fuck is wrong with you? Think he wants to see your face?
Oh, he literally went and tried to have a hit put on me.
Yeah.
He'd
that's
call my
fucking-
house. The answering machine would be like, "I'm looking for Tom."
What do you want this guy to do? That's
I
the normal
don't
reaction.
blame him.
Well, so why would you
in the
want to
tw-
go burden him like he's gonna be on his deathbed? He wants to see your fucking face.
Because I'm doing good now, and so is his
But
daughter.
he doesn't give a shit.
He would give a shit. He'd respect it.
I
If
guess.
I go wrong, Mr. Whatever,
I think you're delusional.
I knew I fucked. No, like I'm a 47-year-old.
I think this is more for you than him.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So that's,
It is.
I mean, stop being selfish.
It's
Tommy.
one of
you
my
already
regrets.
destroyed his daughter's life. I mean,
Before his
Fuck.
daughter got clean, and when I stopped getting high, she surpassed me, dude. She got hit with like 15 B&Es, and she's a pretty little girl. She showed me she had these pink little gloves that she used for B&Es, like, she was
What?
nuts. Yeah, she did
This is
frame.
like right fresh out of
She
the
went
Mickey
to
Mouse Club.
she went to Framingham. She did
Really?
time. She was in prison with Annie Dukan,
Yeah.
the drug lab tech, which, shout out to Annie Dukan, personally, got 4 cases of possession, 4 cases of distribution, 3 school zones.
3 school zones, 4 and 4.
Yes.
How many of them?
It sounds horrible. It
No,
was
because
just,
they hit you with anything. They do this
Yeah,
hot.
but
It's like,
3 fucking
of those
school zones.
possessions, should you even have caught a case? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I agree how what they're doing in Oregon.
I was
They're
on
like-
Canal Street.
They're like, yeah, but you shouldn't be fucking, you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, I was
If you're just using, if you get caught with like an ounce of like coke,
here's the
you
thing.
know, heroin, you know what I
I
mean?
found old prescriptions when I had gotten off the methadone clinic and stopped eating them dumb pills, and I'm like, this is like $300. So I reached out to a close friend I trust, went down, made a play, right out in the open, in Dunkin' Donuts. I served a guy and a girl. The guy went this way, the girl.
Wait, you were just setting up shop in Dunkin' Donuts. You meet
No,
all these
like-
same people at the same time in
That's
one
where the-
fucking thing.
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
That's where
You ever
those-
see The Wire?
That's where those people go.
This
It's
is
like
like a kid.
Amsterdam, but it was like you'd hear people getting popped. It was like boom, boom, and it's so dumb.
Yeah, but it's like
'Cause
have a
listen,
little
listen,
fucking.
I got a hot chocolate, and I'm standing against the wall in Dunkin' Donuts, and I had one of those wooden paddles with the elastic with the ball.
As a grown man,
As a grown man,
you should have got arrested.
and I'm thinking,
you
I'm like-
should have got arrested just
I'm like,
for having
I'm just
that.
like this, happy. I'm like, yeah.
What do you mean happy? You fucking
I made a
hear
couple
this?
$100, right? So
Are you
listen,
fucking kidding me right
this
now?
was horrifying. So
This is horrifying. You're telling me the story that you just fucking was a grown dude with a paddle thing at the fucking Dunkin' Donuts selling heroin.
it wasn't heroin. It was like
What's wrong with
clonidine.
you?
It was like clonidine and
Oh, it was just like
Johnny's.
it was like cocktail shit.
cocktail shit that
Yeah.
I'd grown out of. And I have a good friend who still eats those like they're going out of
Yeah,
style.
they all do. It's a thing.
So I'm there, I'm hitting the paddle ball, and I'm just about to stop and go to the train across the street, and the door opens and 2 grown men come in. The first one has a mask on, a ski mask with just his eyes. The one behind him
This is
had-
pre-COVID.
pre-COVID. The one behind him, you can see his face. He's just in a hood, but it's pulled like tight, like the Frankie the
Like
shit
Kenny?
pipe. Yeah, yeah. So, and the guy behind him, they were cops. I didn't know that. He had the bracelets open.
Yeah, ready to
I
snatch
just
you
see
up.
2 guys in masks and shine. I'm like, it's a knife. I drop my paddle and put up my hands. I'm like, you got the wrong dude. And they went, Tommy, relax. And I just was like, fuck, you got me. The girl ratted on me. My boy,
Par for the course, baby.
my boy, who is so solid, comes from good stock. He took it to the hoop with me. They were like, we just watched that in
He's
binoculars.
like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We just say you got that off that kid,
But I
and you're
didn't.
gonna go home. And
Yeah,
he
he's
was
like, I
like,
didn't. I got these are mine.
no, he was like, fuck you. He's just.
That's
not,
what I'm saying.
not
These are
built.
mine. Yeah, just fucking.
This is a kid who's not even 40. He's just. I'll
Yeah,
tell
you
you.
can't-
I'll tell you off air
Yeah, it
his
doesn't
pedigree.
matter. You know what I'm saying?
But
Play the game. You should play by the rules.
so my point is, the long story is, Annie Dukin. So this case went on for 13 months. When you go to court, there's a thing called drug certs, where that's, the lab comes back, yes, we've certified that this is actually these drugs.
Right.
13 months later, because of Annie Dukin, who was
Great Netflix show.
great. I felt bad for the Farak girl that was just getting
What, the
high.
crackhead? Like, whatever she was?
Yeah, she did a good job. And she went for the right
She was
drugs.
jumped the fuck out, dude.
She was, but
Dude, she was smoking crack on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
job.
that's when it's
I
ugly.
was like, hey,
But when she was
you're
just
just
dip-
asking to get caught.
when she
at
was
this
just
point.
dipping like liquid amphetamine, I can see how that would get out of control quick. We're like, dude, work
She
is
had
easy
all the
today.
drugs.
I know.
She had all the drugs.
But she never
like-
got into landing gear. She never had the street junkie. We'd be dead in 3 days if we had all that.
I mean, usually.
when we were
like,
active,
yeah,
right?
actively, yeah, for probably.
So anyway,
Probably would have got arrested a lot sooner.
me and my co-defendant are in court. His lawyer is a hired lawyer, like a slick older white guy.
Yeah, his family had money or something.
And they gave me a court-appointed. She was a fucking girl.
Sometimes they're okay.
No, she was a girl.
What does that mean? Yeah, totally. She must suck as a lawyer if she's a woman.
Okay,
Tony.
I was
God
like,
forbid. Should she go to law school? Did they actually give her a fucking?
I
she
was
passed
like
the bar.
36.
A woman?
She was in her mid-20s.
Who cares?
She
She's
said,
still a lawyer.
She said, you're one of my first cases, and she said, this is what you should do. Plead out to 2.5 years suspended, supervised probation with urines. That's the best you're gonna get.
Well, that was like plea they were fucking giving her,
Right.
or take it to the hoop.
Then I go to my co-defendant, and I go, what's your lawyer say? And I told him,
Why did you have a co-defendant?
because we got pinched together. He's the kid who didn't tell on me. And we,
So they counted you in the same.
yeah, we went to court together. That's how you know it's a real co-defendant.
Oh, yeah,
Someone
yeah, yeah,
tells
yeah,
on,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
court
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they rape you up.
Right.
And she's like, take that. And I tell my co-defendant, he tells his lawyer, and he goes, talk to my, and his lawyer's like, no, take this to the fucking hoop.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're standing in court 13 months later.
But so you beat the case before that Duke and shit came up?
No, I beat it because of Annie Dukin.
So you were still awaiting trial while that shit came down the pipe?
It went on for 13 months, and because
Yeah, but that's like typical shit.
No, because the drug lab was so backlogged and fucking frozen, they couldn't trust anything that went, so they had to throw it all out. And then eventually, it was crazy. We're standing in court. The judge comes out, the weirdest looking judge, sits down, starts talking. His microphone doesn't work, right? He gets up, takes his fucking robe off, comes down from the bench,
Pours
starts
himself a shot.
Yeah, listen, Kenny, he starts crawling under the tables, fucking with wires.
The
And
judge?
yes, in a button-up shirt.
The judge?
The judge. And he fixed it. He fixed
You
it.
think he'd have like
And
somebody
I'm
else do
standing there,
that?
I turn to my co-defendant, I'm like, we're either going to prison or this is getting dismissed. And the guy got up there, and when he got to our thing, he's like, what's this? What? How, it's 13 months, no drug search? Really? And he just like, dismissed. But dismissed with prejudice, which means if I did anything fucky at any
Yeah, it
time.
was like a continue without a finding.
But they can pull it off the shelf at any time. But I don't get in trouble. Like, I don't do anything stupid anymore. I got in a fight this summer, and luckily the kid that I beat the brakes off of when the cops came, he said turn the lights off, and he stayed below.
Well, he's family.
He is family now. I won't get into it, but I live with. I beat the shit out of a kid, and I live with him now. He's my roommate.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
You know
That's
what, though?
right, like,
I
it
tell
shouldn't
him.
go to court. That should what
He
happens
drives
in
me nuts.
What happens in the house stays in the house.
Yeah, but listen,
right?
every couple days he'll be like, dude, you were fucking pounding on. Like, his vision is like, and I'm like, that's not what it was, dude.
That's funny. So my roommate, we went to Vegas back in like fucking
Who's your roommate?
Kid Scotty.
You meet him on Grindr? Or?
Yeah. Actually, I've never had a girl. It's funny how many straight guys I've talked to that like us, and I'm not gonna like.
You're
anybody-
fucking with broads, though.
I haven't even
these days,
thrown
right?
anybody out there.
Kenny's a switch hitter. He's a man of the time.
I'm like, I'll do desperate.
Right.
sometimes.
If it's
Just
that
like,
kind
oh,
of party,
oh,
right.
like, it's been lonely for a while.
I was the last kid to know that Kenny was bi. Like, my kid's mother had to go, oh, he's got that twinkle in his eye. And I'm like, what? You're with him every night for a year. So, no, sir. And then a couple days
Yeah, it's
later,
weird.
you went on stage and said,
I mean, that's
like,
not weird.
you did started the material like, I know I'm only half gay because I'll only suck your dick if you suck mine.
Yeah, quid pro quo.
And I asked you, I was like, did you mean it? He's like, yeah. And I'm like,
That's just shit.
And
that's
I'm
like
a
that
47-year-old.
goes back to me being a child. Like, so it's
Right.
not like.
And
it's
this
like,
is shocking
shit.
about you too. I always assumed it stemmed from some kind of sexual abuse, but it didn't.
I wouldn't say
you
that's
were just a
abuse if
freak.
you're like fucking just like, you know, curious little kids and you're hanging out with your friends. I don't say that in your what.
No, it's not your friend, but I'm talking
No, I mean
like
friends. I was
older
never touched
kids.
by an uncle. Or
Yeah,
anything
you didn't
like that.
have,
It was
like-
just like fucking kid, you know, jerking off together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, suck my
Creepy
dick if you
Gary
suck
on the
yours.
third
You know what I
floor
mean?
wants to show
No,
you
nothing
something.
like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like if you could suck your own dick, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
well, you suck one dick, you suck them all.
Nah. That's my dick. That's my dick. Once, when I was like 13,
Yeah.
I was young and limber, and I
Yeah, I licked the tip once. I almost
That's
broke
it,
my neck.
that's it.
But
And I was like,
I
I give
caught
up, I
it.
give
Like,
up.
but I think I sprained my tongue too.
If you did a lot of yoga
I had
and you were blessed with
You
like
could probably do that.
a hammer, like
I mean, I think some people can.
I got the Irish curse.
I think some people can.
It's like a fucking.
What was I don't know. I felt like before we went off, I lost him. I did a show fucking Saturday.
Oh,
Surprise.
really? Was it
Yeah.
actual crowd or?
Yeah, it was live. It was great. It was
Where?
in Hull. No, I'm sorry. Hudson, Mass. Like Weston,
Okay.
Mass at Little Stevie's Back Road Cafe. It was
Who
like
books
dudes,
it?
dudes from East Boston. Serenity Jones, Dick Chick Comedy.
Oh,
It was a
okay,
great
okay.
time. There's people there.
Yeah. She fucking.
Yeah, she's doing great.
She
doing
puts
great.
on awesome fucking shows.
Yeah,
Props to
she's
her.
had me a few times, you know.
I missed out on
love
it.
Dick
I
Chick
couldn't
Comedy.
get to Worcester one night,
Yeah,
and I was so pissed. I saw footage of Ollie performing, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was like 300.
Oh, iconic.
It was.
Oh, was that what's her name?
It was like that-
Fucking Nikki.
The thick chick. What? I
Oh,
forget
that's
her-
Serenity.
Yeah. And it was a fucking roaring crowd.
Oh, no, because she was doing the.
I was
the,
supposed to be on. I was so
the
pissed.
woo ha ha for a while. Not the woo ha ha. The fucking. I'm sorry. It's the same.
When we lost the ability
The attic,
to,
whatever the fuck
to-
it is. Park Spirit and Grill.
Yeah.
Park in Worcester.
So what mics are going on now?
Well, I guess Dark Horse is starting again next week. I think Wednesday in Somerville. Right
Okay.
on, I think it's Broadway maybe in
I
Somerville.
did.
Dark
I've
Horse
only done
Tavern.
stand up once in
And then-
Charlestown with
And then,
Josh.
oh yeah,
So
Flip,
with
like
Flip.
to Laugh Productions and shit. How was that?
It sucked. It was cool. It was weird because there was no microphone. It was outside at this like place in Charlestown.
was
in the
inside.
Navy Yard. But here's the thing: it was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like amphitheater. Like it was round.
Oh, so we're not-
like round.
yeah, so you were on
and
the
they
bottom,
sat-
yeah, it was-
They
yeah,
could
yeah.
hear you, but you really couldn't hear the laughs. And without a mic, you had to do this. You know.
You
like-
gotta project.
Yeah, and I just kept coming close to them. I had.
I
fun.
can't wait for this
I
shit to
had
come
fun.
back, dude.
I
like,
can't wait.
He was the kid, Jeremy Pearson, right? Shout out to Jeremy, doing the Lord's work, opening up fucking the Dark Horse. You know, because these people, these businesses are open, right? They're open anyway.
I know.
So, like, I mean,
Well,
and
it's,
they're-
it's ethically.
They're
This is
wrong.
why I'm in this new studio because the old spot was like, yeah, people are gonna get the bad wrong idea. Like,
well, that's what everyone's concerned
it's
about
like,
what everybody else
if you
thinks.
risk going to Star Market to get fucking vegetables and bread,
Right.
you
Like,
know,
you are leaving your house, right? Like everybody else that's going to fucking work every day and going to get gas and going to get cigarettes and going to get fucking liquor at the liquor store. You are doing that, right?
no,
No, you know what I'm
I
saying?
go outside
No, but
only
like,
when I have to. I'm kind of a homebody these days.
that's all you do.
I take care of my daughter and then I do my goofy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
at
but
night.
see, you still have to go
I miss.
outside.
I do.
You go to
I ride
stores.
the train. I go see.
You ride the
friends.
train.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
So like, life is happening. So
But here's the thing: I am in that high risk factor because of my lungs.
But you're still out there.
yeah,
So
I'll
it's
risk
like,
it.
like if you're concerned, then don't fucking leave the house. But don't get mad at because these people keep saying, if everyone just fucking stays in and it's like, is Jeff Bezos gonna drone me
Right.
fucking groceries? Is he gonna drop off groceries in my backyard
Right.
and toilet paper and medication?
Right, right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Then I'll stay in the house. I got Netflix. I'll just chill.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But fucking don't tell me that like you are going outside. You're going to your job. Basically.
But
life,
here's the thing: for me,
life is
personally,
going on.
My whole
So why
life
can't we do
identity-
comedy?
On,
Fuck outta here.
on paper, I'm a fucking loser, right? I don't have a penny in my pocket. Artistically, I've got albums of Type 4 that are wonderfully produced. I lost the ability to do that.
Yeah.
My producer cares for his elderly mom within the home where the studio is. He won't even let the fucking mailman come to the door. I
There's a
get
lot
it.
of that, and I
get
understand
it.
that. I do. I
Me
do.
wanting to finish a hip hop album could kill his dear mom. I get it.
It could,
and not
I
being
mean,
able
but
to do stand
anything.
up.
I mean, life is gonna kill his dear mom.
So
Life is gonna kill her. I'm
I-
sorry.
I don't
it's just
want-
gonna happen.
That's a hard fact, but I don't want to be. He's going to take precautions.
Yeah, but you would even know if you were. They're still leaving the house, right?
A little, I guess.
What do you mean a little, dude? You could go pump gas. You could
I'm
go to the gas.
skeptical.
When you go to the gas station, you pump gas. You fucking like all this shit. Do you do that?
Yeah, but just don't
Me
touch
neither.
your
I don't fucking do that.
You don't
I
wash
get in the
your
car.
hands?
Not like no more than I normally would.
I am so good. I almost broke my neck.
And I'm not saying I don't do that because I don't think it's real. I totally think it's real.
Right.
It's never.
You should be a little more conscientious about it.
Why?
Because you don't want to get your little boy sick. You know, even
Do you
if
know how
it's-
many children have died of this in this country
Not
so
a lot.
far?
Not a lot.
Maybe we're up
They're
to
on the winning
60,
side.
50,
They're on the
60.
winning side. But
Like, no, I don't want my
still,
kid to die.
I
I
have-
don't want any kid to die.
My friend, this kid that my co-defendant, I'm still dear friends with him. I had dinner over there with him and his parents. I love them. They have taken my daughter and me in as like grandparent figures because I don't have parents.
Yeah.
My daughter is the only blood relative I have
On this earth.
alive, except for a third cousin in Indiana. So anyway, they all had it, and they looked fucking horrible.
Yeah, it affects everybody differently.
And they
It's
were
not
worried
good.
about the mother
I don't
because
wanna
they're in
get
their
it.
60s, but the son got it the worst.
So here's the thing. I don't want to get it, and I'm not like overly conscious, but
I-
the people that I know that are wicked, fucking everything, they still caught it.
Okay, so I'll
So
say
it's like if
this.
they're going above and beyond, and I just feel like it's a lottery, dude. I'm driving down 24. There's car accidents
But
every
you're
fucking day.
healthy. Okay,
For
I'll
no- I
take
mean,
the time
am
to
I?
say this. I never talked about this. 2020's over. I had cancer in 2020. I had it removed through laser surgery. Now it's just wait and see.
Right, okay.
I got a 60-40. 60-40, it comes back again. They laser surgery it again. Then it comes back again. Chemo, fucking bye-bye.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So, COVID would fucking kill me while I had that going on.
I mean, maybe not. You don't know that for sure.
I have emphysema.
Dude, so many people are fucking.
Listen.
I have asthma and I'm a
No,
high
it
risk.
ain't
You know what I
asthma.
mean? It's just like there's a lot of like fucking like you don't know. And I'm not a scientist. Don't fucking listen to me. Like, but you don't know what's gonna happen.
But my
when you
point
get
is,
it.
I'm in that
Look at Trump. He was
super-
fucking big fat fucking. You know what I mean? Like rich
Yeah,
with
but
money.
he's a millionaire.
He's
He's got
got the money.
doctors.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
listen, even though I run those risks, I would still go make rap music. Like, I went and tried to record vocals at Kevin Quigley's house because he has a mic set up.
Right.
And I sent it to my producer, Matt.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. The world is going
I'm
on.
willing to fly on Spirit Airlines for $50 round trip to Clearwater, Florida to do 10 unpaid minutes because someone down there can make that happen.
It's pretty cheap right now to go. I've
go
been
everywhere.
to Vegas. I've been to fucking New Orleans.
I want to go to Florida
Since
and
this
Denver.
started, I went
Yeah.
fucking. My roommate, he's a fucking degenerate gambler. He's always got fucking like
I will
free
invest
rooms,
in
free
the
rooms
most
like all over the
crazy
country. You know, so it's
hazmat-y
great.
shit.
What?
I will put like the most hazmat-y shit on and get on a fucking plane. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
contact with it,
No, that's like
or someone coughs and it's in the air, like
Kid, what's up? It's your boy, Frankie the Shit Pipe Doyle.
Lately, my ass has been dragging. I went to my doctor. I said, is there anything you can do to help me?
That crazy motherfucker put me on Adderall. Since I've been on Adderall, I want to build a deck, paint the building. I'll wash the fucking dishes. Some of the most commonly reported side effects of Adderall include the inability to blink for weeks at a time or urinate. You will frighten the children if you leave the house. Chances are your neighbors will call the authorities. You'll be held on an involuntary psychiatric 72-hour hold. Adderall. My quacky doctor was irresponsible enough to prescribe me Adderall. I compiled more written words on the inside of empty plain Cheetos bag. Did L. Ron Hubbard, Frederick Nietzsche, and a whole bunch of other dudes combined. That's what I had it from the aliens. Thanks, Adderall.
Well, that was the thing. I flew out to Vegas in the end of May. Like maybe like right around the end of June, right? And they were like, the airlines were like, fucking
what were you
no.
doing in Vegas? Just fucking around?
Just fucking, it was for just
Where'd you stay?
the Flamingo.
Is that Old Vegas or New Vegas?
New
like
Vegas.
The Fremont?
It's right on the strip. It's not great, but it's like,
It's
you know,
Vegas.
it was free rum.
Yeah.
You know, so it was fun. It was
Did
the
you
first
do
time
any
there.
drugs? Local drugs?
No, but I did get a hooker.
Oh!
Who stole?
What color was she? What was her bill?
She looked like a pregnant Ali Wong.
Okay.
like
So a ghetto Asian girl?
yeah, like with like either a beer belly or like I don't know what the like a little like not huge, but like I'm like, is she 3 months pregnant? You know what I mean? Like that kind
I
of.
would be more skeptical than a low bottom Asian
Well, we weren't in
girl
Thailand, Tommy.
than like a fucking, white trash pack of 3 white girls. You know what I mean? Because I think they're brighter, they're more conniving.
So she's like, I'm waiting for my friend. So me and my buddy are walking down the street. I'm waiting for my friend, and then this chick pulls up on the strip. They can't drop you off in the middle of the street because there's a fucking wall, like a metal
Right.
bushes and shit, right, with a metal fence. Like you gotta go to the corner. This chick makes her Uber driver drop her off on the other side of the fence, and she's like, "Yo, pick me up over the shit," and it's just like, this is not happening.
Who were you in Vegas with?
My roommate.
Okay.
So she comes, we're trying to get it to go. Like, they want to party. We'll take them out to the room, but they didn't have condoms. So it's like he's gotta go get condoms.
Oh, I
Right?
could work around that.
Now
I just
he's-
use her like a dirty magazine.
So
How do you
he's
wanna touch her?
on the like fucking. I'm not feeling this shit, right?
And you weren't on any kind of drugs or too drunk where your dicks wouldn't work. Like, you know what I mean?
So he's like, I'll go get condoms, and I'm like, all right. So then he just leaves me in the room with these 2 chicks, right? And we're fucking around, but like I'm trying to not.
And there's
come.
2 of them,
I'm
right?
trying to, so I can't watch both at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm trying, right? But I didn't know. He went in the room. He took his money, but he left his shit, dude. So he called me like. He just left me
Did
there.
they
He
get
didn't
his-
come back with the con. All he had to do was knock on the door and throw him in the room.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, dude? Don't tell me you're going to get him and then not.
Where did he go? Where did he fuck
He
off
just went to go gamble. He was like, I'm done with this. It's like, dude, you couldn't just go get him
Was
for
he
me?
timid? He didn't want to fuck around with strange women for like short money? Like,
I don't know.
when in
man,
Rome, right? Like,
I don't know. So I was like, so he finally comes back and he's like, yo, I'm missing my Oakleys. I'm fucking missing my, he had earbuds. He's
as
so
long
mad.
as they didn't get his ID. 'cause
No,
he
they
can't
just got
fly
his
home.
Oakleys. They were like new. So I gotta hear this all the time sometimes. Be like,
That's
oh,
it.
I wish I had my earbuds.
That's his bad.
He's like, how street smart are you? You got robbed. And I was like, well,
No, I was fucking them.
I didn't get robbed.
So if you
They didn't
didn't
steal
have a
my shit.
condom, did you just roll the dice and
No. They wouldn't even fuck around. Like, it was just like,
define fucking around? With
they
them?
wouldn't let me stick my dick inside
Okay,
them.
were
But-
they naked?
Yo, yeah, dude. I was like rubbing on.
That's
it.
when you use
That's
them
because
like
they
a
were beating
dirty
me off and
mag-
shit,
yes,
dude.
yes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't come because I was holding off, and then eventually so
What
much.
were you holding off for? The
Because I
rubber-
thought I was gonna fuck him. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So he never shows up, and eventually, they're on the clock. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, hey buddy, sorry, we gotta check out. And I'm like, okay.
How much
lady,
did
see
it
you later.
cost for them?
I think I paid $200.
For the 2 of them? For how long?
Yeah, well, no, she wanted more money for the other one. It was like an hour. Yeah, but it was probably more than an hour, the whole thing. But it was just like, I still didn't come.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It was just like,
I've only been with one prostitute, and it was after a night of drink. And it was disgusting. This story is so gross, but I'll tell it. This is who did it and ran. I was early 20s, going through my old English 40-ounce phase, watching a lot of Menace to Society, looking for cocaine in the middle of the night. We'd go to like Charlestown or Chinatown. And we were just like kind of like hyped up and drunk, and my buddy was like, let's get a hooker. And I'm like, I ain't got no money. He goes, I'll pay. You do the talking. So I'm just on the street now. Now it's a goof. And then I'm like, I'm like, hey, you were in this elderly black woman.
Was he down the zone?
Yes, we're in Chinatown. She goes, yeah, baby, what you got money? And my buddy pulls out money, and I'm like, ugh. And she grabs him and takes him down the alley, which is open to the street, and they go about to like where that rocking chair is, and I can see them. She gets on her knees, pulls his pants down, and starts blowing him like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I like how you do that.
And my friend Ted is like, it hurts, and he pushed her off. Then he runs out, he goes, kid, it's your turn. And I was like, She grabbed me, she brings me back there. She pushed me against the
She
wall.
smiles, she's got blood all on her teeth.
Yeah,
She's
I'm like,
you're next.
she was like someone's grand. I'm like, ma'am, I'm cool. You can just have the money. She goes, nah, baby. She pushed me against the wall, pulled my pants down.
I like her style.
Put a rubber on my tiny little Irish pecker.
Yeah, it's nice how they do that.
With
Yeah,
her
yeah,
mouth,
yeah.
and she's like, ooh, it's so big. And I'm like, lady, don't do
It's not even filling up the condom.
Don't do
Stop.
that. And no, she's like chewing on my fucking flaccid fucking tip, and she's like, and I'm like, and at that time, my right foot, the heel, I felt it very smoothly go, and it was
Some bum shit, huh?
bum shit.
Bum shit.
That when I went like this, the reek of it rose.
Oh, that's gross. She's puking on your dick?
No,
'Cause that would have made me come.
but she didn't even like
Nothing?
skip a beat.
Nice.
like you could smell that shit across the street.
Maybe she couldn't. She might have.
And I literally had to push her head. And then I went in my pocket. I pulled out another $20 bill.
You paid her $20 to stop sucking your dick?
Yes. Because I had some of my friends'
Stop
money.
it.
Because earlier he was going to try to get. He's like, here, hold my money in case I get beat up. I'm just gonna take.
Get beat up what, by a hooker?
No.
They're
like,
tough out there, kid.
He was trying
They're
to
tough.
get Wolf in like the Newtown
I was
projects in
walking around with this
Charlestown.
dude. We were running packages down the zone, right? And this, he's an older black dude, big guy. Well, we're just walking, right?
What year? What year?
This is probably like 2000, 2001, something like that, right?
The
And
late '90s.
He's like,
Very
yo,
rough.
I got that
Rough
hot, I
days.
got that hot right to these the hookers. They're just on the, you know what I mean?
Right.
And this chick got so offended, dude. She's like, yo, motherfucker, what you make you think I want to smoke that shit? He's like, yo, you out here being a hoe.
Yeah,
I was like,
sucking
fuck.
dick. What are you gonna? What are you paying
He's like,
rent?
oh, you must be a dope fiend. I'm sorry.
I thought she was trying to get through
I didn't know you
college.
wanted the fucking ups. You wanted the down.
Remember when the old glass slipper titty,
Yes,
titty
there were a couple
bar
girls
was
that worked
there?
there.
It was like the rattiest titty bar. Like you walked in, it was narrow. There was a bar, then it was a stage. I won't say a very good friend of mine affiliated with the Type 4 crew had a relationship with a girl who was a stripper, and she was also a heroin addict.
Oh, man.
And I was getting
Not
like,
a-
such good deals in Fitchburg through the kid I got the hooker with.
That's like knockout bag shit.
Oh,
like that.
dude, like we called them pillows, $10 Ziplocs this big, right? I'd take them for $10. I'd sell them to Charlestown kids for $20. They'd make a $60, $70 bundle out of it.
That's great.
It was so big, and it was killer. So, and I was serving them, and then one night they just gave me so much money.
So you just had to beat him.
I fucking beat them. I beat 'em. And she
It was like, this is it, baby. You're gonna
And when I
retire
saw
off this
the
one.
girl
I'm
again,
gonna
she-
take this 475 and I'm going to Florida.
The girl was my friend too, and I just
Clear
lied
water,
right to
here I
her.
come.
I'm like, we got robbed up there, fuck, and she just really, I was like,
Dude,
look-
so you
look at me.
pretended you got
Yes,
robbed with
yes.
the girl you're staying with?
No, my friend's girlfriend.
But were you living with them?
No, I wasn't
Oh, so you
living
just
with
had a bounce to go get high.
Yeah, no, it was too much money.
What do you mean it was too much money?
It was like $1,200.
So you had to take it all? That's not a lot of money, dude.
A dope fiend with $1,200, you're talking Chinese food, sneakers, cab rides, and you're not gonna be sick for a week.
A week? No
Yeah.
way.
Oh, I had a gorilla. Like when I was selling heat sealed low bags.
Yeah, you had to
like,
cut them and shit.
they'd have like, and they were like so coveted on the street. Because normally there's like the bags that, it used to be like the bags. I'm explaining it to him because he's
the glass
civilian.
sleeve, they look like stamp bags. You
Stamp
put like a
bags,
fucking-
stamp collectors. And 10 of those would constitute a bundle. And that was like anywhere from 40 to 60, 80 bucks if you were buying it from me. But the heat sealed bags were plastic, and they were from Lawrence, which came from
Yeah, it was like an accordion.
the
They're all
real,
down a
like, yeah.
rectangle.
You know the
thing.
biggest port of heroin in the United States where it comes through is Lawrence and Lowell, Massachusetts.
Really?
Yes, that's its port of entry. And there's tons of stash houses up there.
I mean, they
My
gotta be
dealer-
somewhere. It's
my-
coming from somewhere.
My dealer was like,
My neighbors and making it in his fucking bathtub.
I had a dude throw like $350 on the table. He's like, please hook me up with your deal.
Have you
And I'm
paid him to get
No.
the plug?
No, I wouldn't do it. Because if one person that I served realized the
Well, now
rate-
you lose the clientele.
I was getting bundles of heat sealed.
Yeah, you just middle them.
$50, $5 a bag, $50 a bundle. I'm charging $80, and you got to give me 3 bags. But they were so good that they did it.
It's almost like you missed this.
And when I got pinched, and the word got out, and then somebody got the plug, there was like 17, 18 kids that wanted to fucking murder me.
Yeah, that's
I got
the
pinched.
game, baby.
My producer in Type 4, he has a home in Nantucket. I ran away to Nantucket and just was like, I'm just gonna kick dope here. I lasted like a day and a half. Dope's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But how long have you been off dope and like the methadone clinic?
Since 2011 off heroin and since like 20. It's gotta be 14.
You got off
2014.
methadone pretty
Before pre-comedy.
pretty
I got off
close.
in 2014.
Wow, and we met in,
November of 2014, I got off the dope. I mean, the clinic.
we met at like I think like December
Of 50.
of 50.
We met like a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And we knew we could just see it.
This is such
Looking
a
at each
sad
other.
fact. Yeah. This kid, you had like a bald fade and Air Max sneakers,
Yeah.
and you tell me a kid about a story about some kid
Yeah, right.
with a bald fade and Air Max sneakers trying
Yeah.
to get dust or something.
Something.
Remember that? And I was like, this kid, I love this kid.
Oh, yeah, Faneuil Hall.
And, oh, remember the time when we were first hanging and doing comedy together? There used to be in Faneuil this place called The Hideout, like a downstairs.
Yeah, under Durgan Park.
Where they do comedy open mics and then eventually really, really good shows. And I'll be honest, I was still getting domesticated coming in off the street a few years where like I'd still have a backpack with like my valuables in it.
Yeah, it was like
A two-strap backpack. Now I know a man over 30 with a two-strap backpack just like should live in an ATM booth.
It's homeless.
Is homeless.
or a yuppie. You gotta
But
really be pulling
hey,
off that yuppie. I got my kids on a leash vibe to
I
walk
had-
around with
I
like a
had-
transporter fucking over 30. You know what
I
mean?
had filled my medication that day before the comedy stuff we were doing, and I was like, oh, I can't stick these silly pills in I'll just bring my bag. So, and we
Carried a
smoked.
backpack.
So listen, just,
A backpack
I was
for a
growing up.
prescription bottle.
no, like 3 or 4 of them. So listen, and we smoked a ton of weed, and I'm walking through Faneuil Hall, and just by horrible chance, it's me, Kenny, Sean, someone else, we cross paths with a group of people that's going through a trauma of a girl who lost her bag.
Oh, this is great.
And in that moment, I was so high, I went, my bag! And I thought I lost my backpack. I didn't feel the straps. And one of the dudes was like, raw! He thought I was fucking with him.
Yeah, you thought like so.
And
we're
it
like,
was like, I'm a fighter, but it came so out of the blue. Like Kenny stepped in, you know what I mean? Like da-da-da-da-da, relax. Like,
yeah, we had to like quell the situation
It
real
was-
quick. And the dude, it was like we calmed down.
It
And
was
like, the dude
truly
came
a
back. He's like,
mistake.
thanks a lot, because it could have went left like
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
like,
yeah. And they were young, drunk,
yeah, they were
dickhead
fucking
kids.
22 maybe,
But they-
23 years old.
Maybe one of them, you know, has hot. Like
I don't
getting.
want to fight these kids
I don't wanna
in the
fight
middle of
anybody.
downtown for no fucking reason, especially because you just said, my backpack. You know,
Does
because
you-
you thought you lost your backpack,
Yeah.
even though like she had lost her bag or someone
Yeah, and
snatched
we
her
literally
bag.
crossed paths. I went, and
It
she's
was just
like,
a perfect storm.
and they were all this drama. Oh, my bag, where is it? And I go, my bag, you know, like a bitch.
This dude's like, yo, what the fuck? And it's just like,
And he
yo,
didn't
yo,
even,
yo, yo.
he didn't even pause. He just was like, rah.
Yeah.
I don't blame him because his girl's in tears, and this fucking scumbag townie kid's like, my bag.
Right.
But he didn't really know. I was like, really like my bag. I was so stoned I couldn't feel it. But getting in a fist fight this summer taught me one thing. The key to fight, if you have to fight, do you know who Joe Para is?
Joe Para.
Joe Para talks. He's like a school teacher with this weird voice. And I heard him say a quote like, I never like to waste kinetic energy as a rule. And like when I fought that kid, I was so fired up. Like I drank rum. Like I was like,
Hold on, wait a
"Ah."
second. Did you plan to fight this kid?
No, like I got kicked out of the house, separated from my daughter. He's screaming, hit me. And I was just in a world of emotional shit. And I'm like, gee. And I'll be honest, when he was screaming, hit me.
You wanted to?
I just wanted to fucking cry. I'm like, I'm getting kicked out of my home. I'm gonna be separated from my daughter. I'm just like, give me my shit. I'm leaving. I'm gonna deal with you. Then I went and I ran into. I make it a point to know the local crazy people everywhere I live, just to keep an eye on them. There's a homeless guy who lived out in the park. I call him Jimmy the Jawbone because the cops blew all his teeth out in a gunfight. Good dude from Dorchester.
And they shot his teeth out?
They shot his teeth out through his
One
teeth.
by one, or just like...
From behind, chasing him in a car. He shot back. And the moral of the story is to him, if you're gonna get in a gunfight with the cops, make sure you got a full clip. So one of the bullets went through his ear hole and blew out all his fucking top teeth.
Damn.
And he's just a crazy homeless guy.
Now he's living outside.
Living outside. Very well though. He built like a hut that looks like something shamans.
Was he fucking Thoreau?
Yeah, he's an older guy. He's just on the skids. So anyway, I just happened to run into him, and I was like, he's like, what's wrong? I tell him the story. He's like, you want something? I got some rum. I'm like, yeah. So I go in his creepy little tent. I'm like, dude, you got shelves in here and a generator? This is weird.
You had a generator?
And
Tell me
yeah.
you had cable. Tell me you still on cable.
No, he had like heat, electric. He was nuts. And it was kind of like underground, like round with tarps.
So you took like a bunker or something?
Yeah, it was nuts. He dug down, and it was like, man, it was cool. I wouldn't want to live in it. But when I got kicked out, I was
like
like,
living in a fucking house. Like
when
a
I
normal
got kicked
fucking
out,
house.
I was like, oh my god, I'm on fucking Jimmy the Jawbones level. Like suddenly after life being normal,
Right,
you know,
right.
me being domesticated.
I told you that was gonna happen, motherfucker.
Yeah, because trying to. So here's the backstory. The kid who I fought, who I now live with, who I consider like a little brother. I love the kid, I really do. I regret beating him up. I would have rather he got the better of me. For the fact that it's easier to sleep after you've got your ass kicked than when you've gone
I mean, sometimes
fucking ham.
Sometimes you should lose a fight.
Like no, but I went, and
Did you deserve it?
he'll tell you today. I deserved that. So I went back to the house At 3 in the morning, I took out a dime and I start tapping on the bedroom window. Tap, 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 tap. Knowing it's going to wake up Amber. She comes out, what? I'm like, send him out here right now. And for some stupid reason, she's like, oh, yeah, you're going to get it. And I went to the end where the sidewalk is at the old house. And when he came out, he looked at me and he went, because I fucking...
Who the fuck did he think it was gonna be?
He came out thinking we were going to talk or yell, and I just came flying at. That's the thing with the kinetic energy. And I'll be honest, my first punch was wild, and I didn't want to fuck him up, but I was mad. You know, the day before I had been kind of passively, aggressively arguing with him, and I made a statement, yeah, but I don't want to fight a friend, because I don't want to ever punch a friend in the fucking face. And when I fight, that's what you got to do. Or you're going to get your fucking wig punched in. So I threw the punch, he slipped around, went down the stairs, tried doing the tactic of take out a cigarette, like, let's talk. Oh, what the fuck, what are you doing? And I was like, you want to fight? Let's fight. And I shoved him, and he fell face down on the sidewalk, like this, and I landed with my knees on his back, and he has long hair, took his hair, twisted it so his face is this way, and like 6 or 7, like, bloodied up as shit.
It sounded like he was fucking hitting, like an invalid.
He wanted to fight me.
It
And I'll be
didn't sound
honest,
like he wanted to fight you at all.
my
It sounded
point
like he wanted
was,
to smoke a cigarette.
if that kid, he's young and strong, I thought, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have my hands full fighting. So I went at him like a maniac.
Well, I mean, Tommy, he lost a battle, but
He did, but
he
his,
win the war. I mean,
the other night,
like,
but he brings it up constantly, and it breaks my heart. Oh, dude, you fucking beat the piss out of me. And I'm like, dude, but all that really matters, John, is heart. You show up for a fight. He goes, yeah, I thought that until I fought you. But I will give it to
but
him.
he still showed up and he came
Oh,
outside.
he came outside like
That
a
shows
fucking
heart.
man.
Yeah,
And
good for him.
and immediately after, I got an email from Amber. You got to give him a fair one. You got to meet him at the fountain park one-on-one.
See, this is too much. Like,
Yeah,
this
and
is
that's
like
when I'm
so
like-
toxic shit.
By this point, I calmed down, and I'm like, dude, I'm 46 years old. I'm fist fighting at 3 a.m.
like you're in fucking junior high.
Yeah. And I went fucking ham. Like, Amber was like, where the fuck did that come from? And I was like,
This is what you did to me.
no, it wasn't even her. It was just like,
Kinda.
but I was proud of myself that I had that in me, God forbid. And I keep telling this kid, I'm like, if you're gonna fight, be the first one. You gotta have the heart to smash someone in the fucking
Well, if
face.
someone's coming at you,
If
I
you're
wouldn't try to
pushing
smoke
and
a
yelling-
cigarette to be like, hey, time out. So it's like coming at you.
Be the kinetic energy. But I will give it to him. So I twisted his head, I hit him 6 or 7 times, and he made a moan where he went, ah.
I'm
And
coming.
Yeah. He came, and I was like, oh, it made me feel bad. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get up
It's
off
good
you.
you fucking stopped
I stopped because he was bleeding.
without someone pulling you off. You know
And
what
he
I mean?
is my friend. It just, things got ugly. He was my friend who lived up the street. His house burnt down. I asked my kid's mother, whom I hadn't been with for over a year, but co-parent in the house.
Holy shit.
I let him stay for a week, and it turns into he moves into the fucking house. They're a couple. I got to adjust to this.
Yeah, how fucked up was that?
I got to adjust to this.
That's crazy.
And then he was very passive.
I didn't realize you
aggressive.
like brought him in the
Yes,
home.
he was my fucking friend.
You're like, hey honey, you'll fuck him now.
Which is why we're
Yeah.
able to be friends now.
I guess.
And I
mean,
tell him
yeah,
all the time, like, I've almost fucking wanted to murder him a handful of times in the new apartment, but I don't. I'm more the one between the two of them when they yell. I'm like, don't yell if you slam a door again.
This should be a sitcom.
Dude, but like there's been like 2-3 nights, but I've set down a rule. He can't drink. Because when he drinks, he acts like an idiot. When he doesn't drink,
And
they
he
were
listens
arguing.
to that rule.
He's been listening to it.
You maybe just not drinking in the house or.
I don't give a fuck. If you want to go to the Chinese restaurant and get pie-eyed, whatever.
Right.
But when they're drinking, Amber's a drinker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call her an alcoholic. Sean Penn once
She likes the
described.
wine, right?
Yes. Sean Penn once described Charles Bukowski. He was like, he wasn't an alcoholic. He was a drinker.
Yeah, he's a professional.
And Amber has that Rh negative alien blood type.
I don't know what
She's
the
a
fuck that
10.
means.
Like, and she's kind of a big girl. And I've told her, I'm like, we should, like, sign you up for, like, competitive drinking with, like, Russian sailors. Like,
That's
this
a thing?
girl- No, somewhere, but she can fucking drink. And this kid tries to keep up with her. He's like 140 pounds.
He's a nice size.
He's fattening up a little now. He's a little taller than me. And I said to him the other day, I was like, dude, you're 33. I'm 47. And he's had a tough paper route. You know, like, I admired the kid. Like, he lost his kid. I won't get into the particulars, but he lost custody of his kid. The mother was a junkie, didn't give a fuck. terrible things happened. Kid got adopted out. He went to
By
court.
family or like foster?
No, adopted out to strangers.
That's what I
However,
mean. Yeah,
he got off drugs as a homeless person to do what he had to do
To get his kid back.
to just be in her life. He gets to see her 6 times a year, and he gets 6 phone calls a year. But she's turned into.
Why you only get 6 fucking phone calls?
It drives me nuts.
That's it's like,
Like,
dude,
I'm
why don't
coaching
you're
him,
telling
I'm
me
like-
I don't have unlimited phone
But
calls?
here's the thing.
That's
and
fucking whack.
another friend of mine,
Doesn't matter.
right?
I don't care. Just tell me the story.
She lost her kid, and she lost her kid completely. She still contacts the parents.
What do you mean, like at the department store, like at Bradley's or
yeah,
something?
Bradley's,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, kid was like under the coat rack.
Yeah, she ripped a wet fart, and she went to clean up.
Wow.
It came kid. No, but the kid got straight adopted out. But I admire the kid. He was a homeless dope fiend from Brockton on the street, shaking a cup in front of 7-Eleven. Know what his nickname, his street name? Space Jam.
Space Jam, huh?
Because he always jammed and he looked crazy, you know, like. So I admire the kid. And like, yeah, we fought.
Well, it's always good
I
to see
felt
someone get their shit
horrible.
together, you know?
But every other day, like, oh, you were fucking wailing on, you were going bang. I'm like, no, I wasn't. It was push this, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
the whole thing
Then I
lasted a
go,
minute and a
I'll give
half.
it to him, yeah, and then I go, I'm gonna let you up.
You were
And-
probably winded. You
I
probably
was.
almost had
no,
fucking, you
I
probably
was-
almost died
I
of a
still had
fucking-
energy, but I felt bad when he went because I right in his fucking nose, blood. And when I go, I'm gonna let you up. And when I took the last knee off, he fucking popped up so fast and wrapped me up in a bear hug that I tried so hard for like a month
So
and
he
a
had
half.
you contained. Like,
Contained. Every muscle in my torso was pulled because I'm going. "Rrr." Eventually, I start laughing. I'm like, all right, dude, we're done.
that is the
I'm like,
gayest
please,
shit I've ever heard.
disengage.
You guys tickle, fucking
But
kiss, make out.
I'm glad he didn't grab me by the neck.
Oh, he probably would have put you to sleep.
Oh, he could have broke my neck.
He would have been right to.
And
too.
then when he let me go, he started going to the house. He goes, you broke my fucking nose. And I came up next to him and looked at him, and there was a flash in my moment of, yeah, now it's broken. But when he looked at me, I saw tears and blood.
Yeah,
I
his
felt,
nose
I
was, like,
felt,
sideways.
yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad. And when the cops came, immediately, he told Andy, shut the lights off and let's stay on the floor below.
So wait, you all went in the house?
No, I left.
Oh, okay. I was
just-
gonna say
I
that's,
went into the
that's
night.
a lot, Tommy.
I went into the night, so.
and then how long until you moved back in?
Well, I didn't see my daughter for 3 weeks, and I went.
a long time.
I went from living with her for full time from her birth to crashing on the couch in the what are the red brick projects in Charlestown? The ones.
The bricks.
The bricks.
Yeah,
the red,
Bunker
the
Hill
real
Ave.
ones. Like in every. It was summertime. I could hear the Tobin every night. Separated from my daughter. Didn't know if I was going to get to see her. And I'll give it to him. It was him that got the ball rolling to Amber. Like, you can't keep him from his kid. This
Oh,
is-
that was nice. Would you see him all the time?
and then she started letting me visit. And the first time I saw the kid, he came at me like, hey, you know, like, and I was just like it never happened. I feel genuinely bad. If he was a stranger, I'd do it again. But you know what I mean? He's genuinely a friend. And he's younger. I forget. I got 14 years on him. But it felt good as the guy who feels like the old aging lion. He's banging my kid's mother. You know what I mean? So that was pent up. I don't have any feelings for her, but it's in my fucking house. You know what I mean?
For her house.
Like I'd hear them in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Her.
Right. Exactly. So I had to swallow it, and so did she. It came to a head in,
Is that?
yeah. It was fucking, it was wild. But now we all live in a new home in Quincy. It's a 4-bedroom. It's very spaced out well.
So you get your own spot.
I'm way on the other end.
You get your own little fucking spot.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
sleeping on the couch no more.
I got a
Oh,
nice,
yeah, dude.
good-sized bedroom. I love living there.
So they
It's,
got like 2 kids.
She has,
Amber's got like 2 kids.
Amber has 3 kids. She has Ava, him, and
Oh,
me.
Ryan. Yeah,
And
Ryan.
me. And me. And then her other kid doesn't live there no more. The trans kid who detransitioned. That's another
That's
episode.
a whole different episode.
Yeah. So hey, we're gonna wrap up. We cranked out about an hour, right?
Yep.
I just got the 5 signal a few minutes ago. Rather bang out a minute before than a minute over. Kenny, thank you
Tom,
so much.
thanks
This is
for having me.
exactly what I wanted to do.
Thanks for having me.
Horrific stories, because frankly, we're not doing stand-up these days. We have nothing to promote, really.
No.
And who wants to hear about, chicken wing and drink prices at the open mic? That's not interesting, unless you're in our world. Our world, for all intents and purposes, doesn't really exist right now.
It's not like it used to be.
It's not. It'll come back eventually.
Slowly.
So, try and do something different, something fun, and give people something, you know. I consider it like when you go on safari, you're safe in the truck, the hippos won't get you.
Yeah.
You hear crazy stories. So, I'm Tony O'Deed. Join me next time when I sit down. I'm planning on having Space Jam himself.
Hey, I'm Kenny Capozzi. Check out
Come
on the
for
Gutter
radio,
podcast.
yes.
Tommy's a fucking ex-gutter boy, quit to be a fucking famous rap star.
No,
Yeah.
no, I quit to
Now he's doing fucking...
pursue my Adderall addiction. I will say that quitting the Gutter Boys, I do regret that. I do.
We all
But
love
it was
him,
all
but
on
I
me.
ain't doing this shit. Look at this. We got a nice
Yeah,
little
yeah.
space.
Oh, yeah. Doing
Pretty
big
dope.
things.
Pretty
I
dope, like.
have a comedy series that I'm working on. That'll be coming. Like, I'm thinking winter. You know, I plan on start shooting in May. Good stuff. All right, we'll be back next time.
Take it,
Please share this.
Thanks,
Show your
everybody.
friends. Kenny, thank you. Dave, engineer. We're out like the garbage.
Need a fucking drink.